Hello, my name is Taylor Thomas, and I'm finishing up my first year as a biomedical science PhD student at West Virginia University in the Biochemistry and Molecular Biology program. Now, you might be asking, what led me to this field? And for me, that answer's clear, and something you may be familiar with. Sadly, most, if not all of us, know someone suffering from cancer. Personally, cancer struck my family in the fall of 2014 when my grandfather was diagnosed with stage 4 lung cancer. He fought a long and very hard battle, but ultimately passed away in August of 2016 due to complications of cancer therapy. So I'm pursuing a career in research to ultimately end everyone knowing someone with cancer and to improve cancer therapies. Today I will discuss a brief description of my research, the impact I hope it will have, and why that matters. As I mentioned, my work is centered on the progression and treatment of cancer. However, I approach cancer in an interesting way. In our lab, we work with a small cellular machine that functions very similarly to a wood chipper. For those of you who didn't grow up in central Pennsylvania like I did, or simply are unfamiliar with how a wood chipper works, it is a large machine that requires energy to work. The work the wood chipper does transforms a tree that is old, dead, or harvested for this purpose, and chops it up into small pieces. These pieces go on to be used for other purposes, such as mulch for a garden or pellets for a wood stove. The machine portion of the wood chipper has multiple blades, and these are what are responsible for chopping up the tree. Now, my cellular wood chipper doesn't chop up trees. It chops up equally important products within the cell, called proteins. Proteins you can think of as cellular trees. They're not rooted like a tree, so some are fluid in their motion, but they perform very specific functions within a cell, just like trees have very specific functions in our environment. Just like trees, proteins within a cell need to be chopped up when they are old, or dying, or are just simply no longer needed. When functioning properly, the cellular wood chipper keeps the cell happy and with a fresh supply of materials that will be used for energy. Just like a real-life wood chipper provides pellets that will provide energy for our wood stoves to keep us warm. Disease, specifically cancer, occurs when the cellular wood chipper begins to move too fast and begins to chop up protein trees prematurely. This process doesn't allow for the protein trees to mature and to perform their necessary functions within the cell. Over time, this process repeats and progresses the cell to become cancerous. In regards to cancer therapies, I study methods of how to turn this cellular wood chipper on and off, with the hopes that a potential drug target will be developed. This drug target is aimed to be utilized in tandem with other chemotherapy drugs, with the hopes that the regulation of the cellular wood chipper will slow down the progression of cancer cells and help them not to spread. Currently, there are drugs available that regulate this wood chipper. However, the current drug simply turns off the cellular wood chipper, and therefore no protein trees are being chopped. This process is bad, because then these protein trees that need to be chopped, you can think of them as laying around, rotting, going bad, and becoming a burden to the cellular environment. When chopping doesn't occur, the cell is very unhappy, and more problems, such as other diseases, can occur as a result. So through my research, I hope to find a drug that will allow for the wood chipper to be turned on and off at a very controlled and regulated rate. Through this new treatment, the cell's environment will remain happy and will not only slow down cancer progression, but will allow for more time for individualized cancer therapies to take effect, and will hopefully increase patient survival rate and overall quality of life. This research means so much to me because watching my grandfather struggle with cancer therapies was one of the hardest things of my life. He was, and still is, very much my hero, and gives me my passion for research. I don't want others to lose their friends, family, or heroes the way I did. I hope that through this talk, you understand the importance of why I do basic science research and how important it is for us as a community to study cancer from a basic science perspective. I also hope you enjoyed hearing about my research and the impact that I hope it will have. If you would like to get involved in the fight against cancer, you can go to websites such as cancer.gov or the American Cancer Society to learn more information. Or, if you would like to be more directly involved, head to the American Cancer Society's webpage to learn about a program called Relay for Life and how you can make a difference in the lives of those afflicted with cancer. You may also contact me directly at my provided contact to ask me any questions or other methods of how you can get involved in the fight against cancer. Thank you. Are there any questions?